What's going on, everybody? This is Fry. So, people have been asking me, Fry, there's this new Reddit post, and it's the Reddit post you see right in front of you on the screen. It's going to talk about the changes that are going to happen to some of the existing cards next time there's an update. Basically, they're going to take some cards and nerf them, make them worse, or buff them, make them better. Can you please react to it, Fry? We have to know, are these changes going to be good, bad? What do you think? So, without further ado, we're going to click over here, see the spoilers. And, alright, I'm going to be going through one of these at a time now. I'm not confirming that these changes are actually legitimate. I have no idea. There's someone posted them. It's P-Lover on Reddit. People did go to the dev server to get these, so they kind of saw these sort of stat changes on the dev server, which is like not official. It's very possible a lot of these changes will not happen, or there will be other changes that are not listed here. But I will nonetheless give my opinion, what I think if theoretically these were to happen. Would it be a good idea? Would it be a bad idea? Do I like it? Is it amazing? Is it OP? Is it UP? Underpowered? Without further ado, Snapdragon is the first one on the list, as you can see over here. And it says the old is 3.2 and the new is 3.3. I like that. I feel like Snapdragon is, it used to be a 3.1. It was very weak, died to so many things. Even now, Snapdragon as a 3.2. 3.3 is sort of the lucky number. It doesn't die to, weed spray. It doesn't die to plumber or chickening or anything like that. I feel like that's really good. I do want to see the Smarty class, which is probably basically the weakest, independent, weakest class for the plant side really become better. And, making a splash damage theme and the splash damage cards becoming better could be amazing. This would definitely make this card a lot better than the watermelon and melon pulp. Anyway, alright, I do like that. I would like to see this card become better. Twin Sunflower would go from an 0.1 to an 0.2. This is actually what I thought it would be. Originally, Twin Sunflower was 3 cost, 0.2, then they turned into 2 costs, and they made it 0.1 in the process, and I think that was totally unnecessary. I do like the fact it costs 2 now. It actually does make it a decent card. We actually did use Twin Sunflower with some success in a Ramp Rose deck recently. You'll be seeing that on YouTube in the future. So I do like the fact that they're giving this a little extra health, want this to be able to survive, because at the end of the day, Twin Sunflower, it doesn't really have any attack. It does help you ramp sometimes. So it is a pretty weak card. So I would like to see all the ramp cards become better. Shield Crusher Viking is a card that going from, it used to be 5 attack, 5 health. They made it 6, and it seems like there's a possibility now that they'll make it 7 attack. I think that's a really good idea, even with the new buff of Shield Crusher Viking. Honestly, I never even got around to using it because, when your cards cost 5 or more, and they're not a gravestone, they don't really, Shield Crusher Viking doesn't really do anything to affect the field. They're almost always going to be able to chump block your Shield Crusher Viking when you play it, just by sticking a little minion in front of it. And its ability that, it'll drain your opponent's block meter is basically never going to happen. So I really do like the fact that Shield Crusher Viking become a little more powerful. It could actually end up using as a finisher, particularly teleporting it in, and then it'll set up your opponent with that empty block meter to do that extra little bit of damage, which could be good. I could see Shield Crusher Viking. I kind of do like that, actually. Maybe we can even make an overshoot deck with Shield Crusher Viking. You overshoot, you hit them little bits, then you Shield Crusher Viking in, teleport that in on turn 6, and then the overshoot will finish them off. It's really not a bad idea. Tomb Raiser, becoming a 2.3 to 2.4. This is another card that's amazing. When it hits face, it's a random gravestone. This is a little weak at 2.3. I do like the stat change to 2.4. I think that'll be amazing. I would love to see Tomb Raisers actually become a competitive card. Now, we play them in some decks. They're actually good. If you can make a menace on your field every single turn for your opponent to deal with, and they can't really deal with that turn 4 gravestone, so they sometimes just leave it alone, and that's really the only way Tomb Raiser Zombie works effectively. So I like it. Abracadabra, very similar to Tomb Raiser, has very poor stats. You need it to hit face in order for it to be good. Obviously, when it hits face, it'll do 3 damage to a random plant, which is great, but it's hard to pull it off, because again, you put that gravestone on the field, usually they just stick something in front of it. So this becoming a 3-2, having a little bit of extra survivability, so it doesn't die to a freaking weenie beanie. I like that. Mirror Nut is another also weak card that I feel like, there's so much potential, but going from 0.6 to 0.7, I could see that making a difference. I don't think that's really going to make Mirror Nut good. It makes it a little better combining with cards like Bacchanalith, obviously. Anyway. Alright, let's keep it going. Did I skip anything? Abracadabra. Oh, I did skip over something. Sorry. Zombie King. How did I skip over this? Re-Knights of the Living Dead cannot re-Knight Knights of the Living Dead. This is something that's happened with Zombie King. I'll keep track with my mouse from now on where this is, but this is something that's happened with Zombie King sort of flip-flopping back and forth. Zombie King originally was a 0-5, and it would only, its ability is at the beginning of your turn, it'll turn one of your other guys into a Knight of the Living Dead. Now, it used to always target non-Knights of the Living Dead. Something changed in the game mechanics and the way that Zombie King worked, that it'll actually turn Knights of the Living Dead also into Knights of the Living Dead, which on the one hand could heal your Knights. If your Knights get nerfed or, get weed whacked, or if they get damage, it'll turn it into a fresh one. But overall, it's not good. You definitely want your non-Knights of the Living Dead. It's a huge 7-cost card. You want the small cards to be turned into the Knights, not these ones. So this is definitely a huge buff for Zombie King, and it's legitimately the way Zombie King should work. So, all right, sorry I skipped over that. Here's Yeti Lunchbox. This is a big deal. This was a gourmet trick. That was the type of trick it was. Again, Yeti Lunchbox is the 1-cost beastie trick. Gives a zombie +1/+1. Now it's a gourmet pet trick. So this is amazing to have a 1-cost trick for any pet deck that will be able to trigger the ability of Cat Lady and of Zookeeper. I think that's a huge deal. I think that could be one of the things I really would love to see pet decks be like viable on a high level of the game. Be really competitive. It's really nice that you can get Yeti Lunchboxes from the actual Yeti, which will give you more pet cards, etc. So that that combo obviously works very well in pet decks. I'm excited about that. I think that's a really good idea. I've actually had this idea that this card should become a pet card for a long time, and it's something that will help the pet decks. You can play, let's say for example, on turn 3, just play Zookeeper Lunchbox, which will not only increase the health of the Zookeeper, it'll trigger its ability and make all your other pets more powerful. I like it. Leftovers. Maybe this card will actually be able to enable you to make like OTK Cat Lady decks. That'll be really interesting, and just buff up your Cat Lady with a bunch of Yeti Lunchboxes. That could be an amazing idea, actually. Okay, so Magic Beans. It currently says, it used to not draw a card. Currently it says shuffle 4 Magic Beanstalks into your deck, draw a card. And they turned it into draw a card because it was way, way too weak when it did not draw a card. All it would do, it would eliminate a card from your hand. It would cost 2 Sun. And it would put these cards in your deck that you're not necessarily going to get. They made it draw a card to actually make it viable. So Magic Beans, when it draws a card, it doesn't give you that card disadvantage. That's the main thing. Plus, it draws a card so you can get your Magic Beanstalks faster. But that's even secondary because it's making it one card faster, basically. If they really turn this back into shuffle 4 Magic Beanstalks into your deck, I think this card again becomes useless. Some people maybe with Lima Pleurodon, maybe there's a justification that, Magic Beanstalk cycle decks are actually good. There's actually very good Bean cycle decks, particularly with Nightcap, where you use Planet of the Grapes and cards like Astro Shroom to cycle through your deck really quickly and get the Magic Beanstalks. I don't think So Magic Beans is OP, so I really would like this not to see this. That would be really bad. Moving right along, Leftovers. So Leftovers is the card you get when Turkey Rider dies. Turkey Rider is a pet card, and turning again, this is another idea I had, from a gourmet trick to gourmet pet tricks. This will be yet another card, sort of like the Yeti Lunchbox, that will buff the abilities of all the Cat Ladies and the Cat Lady and the Zookeeper. I would like there to really see one more card besides for Cat Lady and Zookeeper that creates pet synergy. That's really the thing that it needs. Maybe a 3 or 4 cost card, but anyway, this is good. I think this is great, and Turkey Rider is pretty weak. I think this makes it a little bit better in pet decks with the Smash. So anyway, keep it going. Gravitry goes from a 6/7 to a 7/7, and of course has 1 armor. So that'll make it a really, really strong high stat card for for a 6-cost card. It doesn't really do a lot. It is a defensive card, the Gravitry. Which really is usually your cards that cost 6 or more. You don't really want, you really don't really want them to just be defensive. You really want to be finishing off your opponent typically at that point, or really, healing yourself like popping poppies, and just usually should be doing more than Gravitry. So the fact that it's getting buffed a little bit, maybe it'll make it viable. Or I should really try Gravitry maybe in some control decks and stuff. This is probably going to be the nerf that I like the least. It's actually good I'm highlighting these as I'm going. I'll do that from now on. Lily of the Valley, there was discussion of this in the past, I heard a long time ago. It is a 1-3, and the 1-3 really makes Lily of the Valley, of course it's a 2-cost card, it really makes it into what it is. It really makes the Mega Grow class good after, you know, the zombies had so many ways of dealing with the big Mega Grow cards. I feel like Lily of the Valley is the quintessential Mega Grow card. Of course, when you have Lily on the field, then on turn 3 you play something on Heights and that gets +2/+2. Making Lily into a 1-2 is going to make it very, very bad. It's going to die to so many things. It'll die to Plumber. It'll be just so easy for so many... there's just going to be so many more answers to Lily of the Valley. I don't think Lily of the Valley is too good. I think aggro decks can definitely take out decks with Lily of the Valley in them. There's a lot of real... If you really know how to play the game, you know how to answer Lily of the Valley. I think players that don't really know... don't build their decks around Lily of the Valley. They're not running the Rolling Stones and stuff. You know, obviously they suffer against it. I don't like this. I would love to see this stay as a 1-3. I feel like this is going to really damage the Mega Grow class very, very much. I feel like the Mega Grow class is going to be way worse as a result of this. But anyway, moving right along. Escape Through Time, going from a 1-cost card to a 2-cost card. This, of course, is the 1-cost Hardy card that protects one of your guys and it draws you a random history card. I don't like this nerf. I don't think Escape Through... I think Escape Through Time is good. I feel like it makes Z-Mech viable, like Z-Mech and dancing decks. Just a few other applications. It works really well with, let's say, Zombology Teacher, because then it's free. Making this a 2-cost card, it's going to become not a viable card at all, which I really don't like it. It becomes like Frozen Mustache that you're basically never going to be able to use, but who knows? Maybe it will be good. It's possible to be good at 2. It just doesn't... I don't see this as a necessity, but again, a lot of these things, if they're considering nerfing something, it just means that, like, decks with Escape Through Time win 90% or something like that. So, you know, if they have statistics like that, so obviously that would support this. Looks like Neutron Imp, which is pretty useless. It's a 4-cost zombie 4/4. You know, a plant 4/4 is a lot better than a zombie 4/4 because you can use it reactively. This, you just got to stick on the field and hopefully something good will happen. It's totally changing this card into a 2-cost 2/3, which gives it some amount of survivability. Its ability, again, is it does a bonus attack every time you play an environment, which for a 2-attack card, I feel like is not worth it. I feel like this is actually still going to be useless. I could see a 2-cost 3/2 maybe, because at least the bonus attacks will lend you 3 damage. Anyway. I don't think Neutron Imp is a good card to begin with, and I don't think this is really going to fix anything. Anyway, 3-Nut, becoming a 3/1 to a 3/2. I like that. 3-Nut has a lot of potential. Makes every 3-cost card, makes every card you play have 3 attack. It is a little bit weak at 1 health. I don't think it's too good, so I think a 3/2 would at least give that a little extra health, be able to survive that one little extra answer that they might have and be able to still buff your plants. Kind of like that. Gatling Pea. This is the worst legendary in the game, probably. 4/5, it costs 5, does bonus, has double strike, and then it also does a bonus attack when you play it on something. 5/4 is better, it'll do more damage, that double strike will work, and its ability when you evolve it again will be able to do a little bit of extra damage. I think this is a good buff. Jelly Bean goes from 4/4 to 4/3 now. Again, I've used Jelly Bean, it's a nice card. I don't know if Jelly Bean has such a big high win rate that it needs to be nerfed. Obviously, when you evolve it, it becomes a 5/5, so now it'll only be a 5/4. I don't think this nerf really makes Jelly Bean that bad. It just doesn't occur to me that Jelly Bean is that good in the first place. I'll say the same thing about Sunflower Seed. Sunflower Seed is a 3-cost 3/2. When it dies, it makes a Sunflower here, which again, maybe this card just maybe in the stats of the game, they just had so many, so many decks that had Sunflower Seed. They're amazing. I've used it in a few decks. It seems like it's been okay. It doesn't seem like it's going to take over games. It doesn't seem like it's unfair at all. It's a 3-cost 3/2. Make it a 3/1. Making a 3/1 doesn't hurt it that much. The difference between having 2 and 1 health for a card like Sunflower Seed, usually you're just sticking in front of something, doing that 3 damage, and then you get that Sunflower and you can ramp up the next turn. That's how it's used. So this nerf doesn't really make that much of a difference. I just don't see the necessity. Here is a nice buff. Gargmime coming from 5/5 to 5/7. Gargmime's the one that anytime one of your other zombies does a bonus attack, the Gargmime will do a bonus attack. I like that. I don't think this is OP. I think this is going to make Gargmime into a legitimate finisher. Having a little bit extra health like that, it doesn't like die. There's no real good answer in the plants on the plant side unless they have some hard removal. So I actually do like this buff. I'd like to really try to use Gargmime a little more often. We did have a good, it worked kind of well with science decks and then Gadget Scientist, but this is one card that I really feel like I have not utilized to its full potential. So I would like to see the buff. It'll definitely give me that motivation. Here's a good one. Quick Draw Conman. This card, I'm sorry, is freaking cancer. This card is so, it's evil. This, you put a 1/4 bullseye, and every time they draw a card, you start doing more damage to their face. You can combine this with Swashbuckler, but just put this in a deck. There's no answer to a 1/4 on turn 1. I'm sorry, even a 1/3 is hard to answer. I really like this nerf. I think this card is overpowered, and 1/3 is exactly the way it should be. It's still a great card, don't get me wrong. There's almost no answer to a 1/3. The plants have, I guess they can do Bonk Joy. There's a couple answers, of course, Meteor. But this is a great buff. Quick Draw Command's too strong. Oh man, this one's hard. This one's hard for my Haunted Pumpkin. Okay. Someone in the chat saying, "Hey, Haunted Pumpkin can answer this." Great, and give your opponent a card. That's one card in the game that can do 4 damage on turn 1. Sorry, not really a good answer. Anyway, here's Stompadon. Stompadon decks are a thing. They're a sensation on the zombie side. Now, it's the most annoying card. Whenever you draw a card, of course, Stompadon, whenever you draw a card, it buffs all the zombies in your hand by 1/1. So you can start getting these ridiculous, 10 attack, 10 health Leprechaun imps that cost 1 and stuff like that. The Stompadon costing 3, again, it's a 2/4, so it's such a great card, a mid-range card, because again, you play it on 3, and then on turn 4, you start really taking over the game. Maybe you play it on turn 4 with another card like Middle Manager that draws you a card immediately, so you get that instant buff. I don't think Stompadon is OP. Now, I know some of you guys are going to hear that and say, "Fry, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? What are you on, Fry? Are you drunk? Are you high? How are you saying Stompadon is not OP?" The reason Stompadon is people think Stompadon is OP because they have no idea how to answer it. First of all, it's nice that you have a play around card. There's plenty of things that can take out the Stompadon, like Hammer and Health Nut. These cards that people never run on the plant side. But even without that, there's a very easy way of beating Stompadon decks, and that is with aggro plant decks. And that is the plant decks that everyone should be running nowadays. I don't know how the plant meta has not become aggro. Aggro Solar Flare, aggro Captain Combustible, it's called Captain Quickwind. Just check out these decks on YouTube, the ones that, the videos I put. These will kill Stompadon decks 90% of the time, and I've tested them against Stompadon decks, and they win about 90% of the time. Little bit triggered about this. People just complain about Stompadon. It's too good. Fry, how do you do it? Just kill your opponent, deplete their health. That's the way you kill Stompadon decks. Use a bean deck will kill a Stompadon deck. I'm sorry. People, because of everyone complaining and because no one has any idea how to deal with it, even though I rant and rave, I talk about this all the time. People don't know how to deal with it, and then they look at Stomp and they say, it's too good, it's got to cost 4. I don't think it's going to be any good at 4. I think it's going to be too slow. Again, you're not going to get your buffs until turn 5, unless you Nebula on 3, and then you play something in the Nebula, and then you play Stompadon and something else that turn, but then you just used up all your zombies ramping up. I don't like this. Honestly, I do not like this. I understand it completely. I understand why they would do this, because no one knows how to play around this card. No one knows how to build decks that will kill mid-range decks on the zombie side, but rest in peace, Stompadon, if this happens. I think Stompadon will be viable. It's still going to be usable. It's going to be usable, but there's a much easier answer. Teach people how to play aggro decks on the plant side. Sorry about the rant. Let's keep going on. Stone Gargantuar. I believe this is referring to the monolith. The what's it called again? Oh, I actually need to look up the Gargolith. I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about. Stone Gargantuar. It's the 6 cost 7/5 that hides itself in all Gargs in a gravestone at the end of every turn. So it's not a great card. Becoming 7/6, greater stats. Those are very good stats for a 6 card now. It's gravestone. I'd like to see this card become stronger. Why not? It should become viable. All right, Zomba Aristata Gondola. Now, there was some real confusion on the gondola. If you look at the text that it says right now on the gondola card, it seems that whenever it does damage, it will trigger its ability, which will move to another lane and leave a random zombie behind where it was. Right now, this is a legendary, so it costs 4,000 to craft, and the recycling value is always 1/4, so it's 1,000. The reason they would change the recycling value is because that's not what its ability does. The card text is wrong. It's only when it hits your opponent's face will its ability be triggered. So I think the consideration is, and this is actually a very considerate thing, they're worried that people looked at Gondola stats, read the text, thought it was going to be this amazing card that anytime it did damage even to a plant, its ability would trigger, use all their sparks on it, and now it turns out that they really wasted their sparks. So that's why they're going to allow those people that crafted it erroneously to be able to uncraft it for the full price that they crafted it for the full 4,000, and be able to craft other things if they want, since Gondola is significantly worse. But again, Gondola, the stats of Gondola, the fact it's a 5/6, again, amphibious, 6 cost, and it only works when it hits face is good. It would be way too good if its ability triggered whenever it did damage even to a plant. It's got to go face. Alright, Loco Coco, this is one of the new cards. I actually don't even remember what a lot of the new set 4 cards. Seems like some of these ones. I'm actually going to skip over these ones. You can see these cards in my reaction to set 4. I do have a video of that out on YouTube, so go look that up. Typical Beanstalk. These are all going to be cards that are coming out next season. I'm actually not going to review those. I'm going to concentrate in this video on the cards that are already exist. Gargantua Throwing Garg, Dust Dash, Mechasaur, Buried Treasure, Hatchling. Okay, here's Snake Grass. This seems like a a change in the text to the bottom of the card, the funny description. They didn't want to use the word dollar maybe because that would turn away their international audience. I have no idea. Whatever. Half Banana. When Destroyed. This was a card that was going to get buffed, and I think it became too good, so bananas in your hand get one attack. Anyway, it's probably going to be basically it. A little more text change. Here's a big one. Leprechaun Imp. Right now it says when played, shuffle 2 pots of gold into your deck, and apparently it might only shuffle 1 pot of gold into your deck. Again, Leprechaun is a good card. It maybe has too high of a win rate. I don't think it's too good. I think the 2 pots of gold is perfect. You have to devote your entire deck to getting those pots of gold, even to get them consistently. You need to be running Regifting Zombie, which is a good combo, and then get the pots of gold and have like a real cycle deck in order to get them. But I don't like this nerf. I don't think it's necessary. But again, maybe Leprechaun Imp and the stat charts just is too good. I think stat charts can be misleading. I think that they should, instead of be going on what happens in Taco League players, they should actually consider what is the highest level of playing this game, not just what uninformed Taco and Ultimate League players happen to be experienced. That's just my opinion. Should be going more on like what would happen in a tournament setting with professional players rather than random players on ladder. But anyway, I feel like if people really want to learn how to play this game, there's a lot of ways to learn. Gargantua Throwing Imp. This is interesting. Make a Smashing Gargantua on a random lane. Now it's going to be make a random Garg that costs 5 in a random lane. So I guess that buffs it a little bit because there are going to be better Gargs. Supernova Garg is definitely better than Smashing Garg, for example. I feel like the fact this can't make any amphibious Gargs is the main problem. If there was an amphibious 5-cost Garg, that would be the best buff to Garg Throwing Imp. The problem is there's just not enough lanes to pull this off. You can't really splat. There's not enough lanes. It'd be nice if this could make an amphibious Garg, or just a random Garg of any cost. That would be a little bit too good, maybe. Alright, Nebula. Oh, man. Alright, I didn't like the nerf last season when it went from 2 to 3. I didn't think that was necessary then, and I was totally wrong. It was necessary. Nebula is a great card at 3 brains. It is a very, very good card. It enables the whole ramping on the zombie side, so they might make it that now you only get plus 2 brains this turn. Again, this sounds like it's going to make it useless. I have said that in the past about Nebula. It's possible this will still be a viable card. It just doesn't seem worth it now. You could spend 3 brains on this environment, and it only gives you an extra 2 brains. Maybe make it cost 2, and then it'll give you extra 2 brains. Maybe that'll be a balance. Who knows? I don't like this. I feel like this is going to ruin the ramp decks, which again, the ramp decks, they have a very high win rate, but they're not too good. You know why? Play aggro plant decks. Just play ag. They'll beat these ramp decks 95% of the time. Seriously. They cannot deal. Anyway, I'll stop. Alright, here we go. Ooh, this is a good one. Jurassic Fossil Head. This is a 2-3 untrickable that if you Professional Evolution, it would get 3-3. Now it says untrickable Professional Evolution gets +2/+2. Amen. Hallelujah. This is exactly what this card should have been. Becoming a 5-6 on turn 2 with that evolution is too good. 4-5 is like exactly what it should be. I've been preaching this one for a long time. That this is what Jurassic Fossil Head. People have asked me how to fix it. This is obvious fix, and hopefully that'll just happen. Alright, I'm going to skip again the ones that are coming out next one. I'm going to concentrate on, and oh, that's going to be it actually. Alright, so there's slight other changes that are going to be happening to the cards that haven't come out yet. So I'm not going to talk about, oh, this is what they were and this is what they're going to be. Maybe I'll do that in a different video when, you know, Ginta puts out his next video on the final dev server before the next update. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy. Those are my opinions on the new buffs and the new stuff. I think a lot of these are really, really good. These buffs and nerfs, amazing. Particularly the ones to these weak cards, and then nerfing the Quick Draw Conman. I feel like there are some of these that are unnecessary and is coming really from a player's, you know, ignorance honestly in how to deal with certain decks like Stompadon and ramp decks. But you know what? At the end of the day, I definitely understand. If there's a card that's annoying and is turning players off, people don't want to play plants anymore because they just can't figure out how to do Stompadon, even though there's an easy way to inform them how to. I mean, even though there is an answer, people are just ill-informed. Maybe that's a good reason. You know, maybe it would be just to keep players, you know, not frustrated. Would be a good reason to nerf cards. I understand that from a developer's perspective, so I definitely respect those potential nerfs, even though I don't technically agree that they're necessary. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoy. That was my review. Peace. This is Fry. Again, I don't think I'm talking a little off the mic now, but I don't think Stompadon is going to be totally useless. Even Nebula, I don't think those cards are going to be 100% useless. I think they're going to be useful. They're not going to be types of decks that you build your whole deck around them anymore. You know, Stompadon, again, you could make a build around Stompadon deck. Happens to be Stompadon with the Nebula nerf is double trouble, because the best way to do Stompadon is actually with Nebula. You stick in a Gravestone, then you play Regifting that turn. You stick it in the environment, I mean. Like a turn 4 play. Anyway, I'm very big on having respect, and it's not just an opinion that I have that people should do this. I'm actually am that way. That I have even people's opinions that I disagree with, I have respect for. Because they're a human being and they have that opinion, and if I was them, I would think that too. It's a very advanced way of thinking, and I wish the world would think this way. Maybe if I become a very big YouTuber, this will be my side to politics that I will talk about a lot more. But I feel like it's so good that everyone has different opinions. Amazing. But the thing that I feel like today is missing a little bit is respect. You have to, even if you disagree with a person, don't lose your respect for that person. And it's the lack of respect that turns a difference in opinion to a fight and to strife and a lack of peace in the world in general, and you know, even within a country, and particularly for world peace. Keep the respect, you guys. Everyone's human. You don't know everything. They don't know everything. People make mistakes. Keep the respect, you guys. And with much respect, I'm going to have to say goodbye. I'm way over time today. It's almost 4 o'clock. And we're going to be playing some Super Mario Odyssey tonight. The respect is real. The great way of saying it like that is no one can argue with that. If someone's going to argue, you don't have to have respect for another person's opinion. I like to see someone take that stance. People aren't perfect. Thank you, Elzar, for the cheers. Clap, clap, clap. Should Quasar get a buff? I'd like to see a buff to Quasar too. 3-2 would be like, it's a legendary. Why can't it be a 3-2? I want to see Quasar be a 3. A 3-2 zombie's not that good. It's not a gravestone. If it was a gravestone, that would be insane. No, 3-2 Quasar isn't that good. Isn't too good. I would love to see that. And you can't answer it easily, so you get the card advantage. That would be cool. Is that a little too good? Since it trades 1 for 1 on turn 2, and then you can answer whatever the turn 3 play is. Maybe 2-3. 2-3. Let's say 2-3. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm way over time. It's actually 3:45 right now. I should have been done basically an hour ago. Alright, I'll see you guys tonight. Mario Odyssey. Guys, if you haven't come check out the stream, come check it out. Even if you came to the first one, that one didn't count. It's really, really fun. We have a lot of fun with it. Guys, please come to the stream. It's at 6 o'clock, which is in about 2 hours, so I gotta go. Bye!